This is inside the visor and will be rubbing against the bassinet and spoiling the fit that we've roughed out. So we need to take this section off. And you just need to do that carefully, really. So I'm going to show you how I go about doing that with my grinder. You can use a chisel, but I tend to just use a 1mm slip disc. And what you need to do to get that out the way, and then you're all set for your bassinet hinge. Now, the first thing to consider when you're doing anything with a delicate space like this is this can get mauled really, really easily. So take your pin that you've got, drop that, into place, and that will stop these two bits being murdered by any work that we do. Next thing to do is mark where you're going to want to cut with the grinder. Now, be conservative with this. There's nothing worse than cutting away half your hinge and realising you've knackered the thing, and then you've got a visor actually that you can't really use unless you're really going to put the hinge over here or do something funky with. So be conservative with it. You just want to take that off so that most of that tab can come away. That's all you're looking to do. If you grind along here and you don't quite make it into these areas, it's no big deal. We get into it later with a bit of file and chisel and then touch it across. Better to give yourself a bit more material and remove it slowly than go straight in for the kill, wreck the piece, and yeah, have the tears out and be crying into your soup because you've destroyed your visor. So I'm going to take these off now with the grinder. So a quick word about this, and I'm going to use a grinder to find it quicker, but if you wanted to use a chisel, get it on the anvil, but not like that, because what that'll do is it will pull those bits back and your hinge will be in the wrong place. Get it past the shoulder of something hard, offer your chisel up, make a mark, check the mark. If you're satisfied it's in the right place, slowly have at it and you'll take that away. And then the same again this side, slowly have at it and you'll take it away. So it's quite straightforward using a chisel. I just prefer a grinder when I'm trying to get these things done quickly. But you have to go really carefully. The pros and cons of this is the grinder's quicker, but if you're not careful you'll take the whole hinge off. So go at it really slowly and then you can pull that away like that. So get it nicely supported and offer it up and away you go. We'll do it all in real time, just show there's no cheating, nothing clever going on. So you can see, I've started to make an indentation on the piece of metal there. I'll give a couple more passes and then I'll pull that off with a set of pliers. We'll give that a quick test, see if it's even moving yet. There we go. Nice and easy. If you can't make it come up with a lever like that, then you need to do a little bit more work. Back and forth a few times. There you go. And you can see I've got my tabs here, which are a little bit long just at the moment, but that's no big deal. Just take a file, have those back, and then just give it a couple of touches down. So I'll take those file off and then we'll show the last part. So I've given the whole thing a file, shorten those tabs just a touch. Now this is the important part, make sure when you're doing any hammering that you have your pin that you're going to be using in there. Now I'm not smashing into these, I just want to gently push them past themselves a little bit that I couldn't do earlier because we had the tab. So offer it up, make sure it's hard against the anvil there and just close them down. don't go mad with this because you'll just push the whole thing over. What I'm looking to do here is just see that is it smooth from that surface onto that, and it's pretty much there. Just tamp it down. There you go. And all I'm going to do is do the same now with this piece on its back here, so that I can then make sure that both halves are married up to one another nicely on that piece. I'll be there like that. Nice and straightforward and really simple. On the smaller tab, obviously you haven't got as much to hold on to as you've got with the visor, so make your marks, get it in your vise, and then go at it nice and gently. So you notice a couple of slips there, I just went up the back of it, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be riveted to the inside of the bassinet. Obviously I prefer if I hadn't have done that, but you know, these things happen, it's no big deal. You can always file it back as part of the polishing process and get rid of it. So I'm going to take this off, take the tab away, and then we'll see if the two halves marry. So here we go, there's our bit we've just done. Just work that off. And then onto the anvil, tamp down those edges. So no cheating then, we'll try this live. If it doesn't work, I can always edit it out. What we're going to do is push that down, exactly as we did before, just gently. Tamp that over. Check if it's flush, just about. See if we can get the nail out. There we go. Take the visor. So far so good. And hopefully, because we've worked the both of them in the same way, even though I've not checked this yet, we should be good enough for government work. Oh, it's a little bit sticky. Just give that a touch on there. And there we go. That's all ready now to go back on our bassinet, nice and flush there. So we've got those out of the way and we're done. As I mentioned right at the beginning, give a lot of consideration to what this hinge is going to be doing. If you're doing any modern sports stuff, you can make these stronger by leaving that wrap on and riveting it through on either side, and you just have to sort of figure out how it goes to the bassinet and work that through, but that's not impossible. You can make long tabs as individual pieces, or just keep the whole tab on there. Bring it the other way and decorate it. I've seen that done a couple of times. But you can see there is your hinge. Now bear in mind, this isn't going to be doing much of that, so you can take the visor on and off principally, but not so tough, not so hard. Just give it a little bit of thought on this part of the process, and there you go. How you get your visor hinge made so it fits flush with your bassinet. I hope that was useful to you. Like and subscribe, all those good things that we're supposed to do. Give it a thumbs up and all that, and thanks ever so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. Like I say, I hope that comes to some use to you at some point in the future.